front page for the first day of July, July 1st, 2021. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Former Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld, who led the Pentagon through the September 11th attacks and the resulting U.S. military invasions of Iraq and Afghanistan, has died. Dave Boyer and Guy Taylor look back on the life of Rumsfeld, who built a reputation as a skilled bureaucrat and a visionary for the modernization of the military in the post-World War II era. With a sharp tongue and a lively pen, he inspired deep devotion and harsh opposition in equal measure in implementing his vision for enhancing the DoD. Rumsfeld was both the youngest and oldest Secretary of Defense, serving under President Gerald Ford and again under President George W. Bush. He died at his family home in Taos, New Mexico, after battling multiple myeloma. Donald Rumsfeld was 88 years old. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court has overturned Bill Cosby's sexual assault conviction, ruling that an agreement with a previous prosecutor prevented him from being charged in the case. Tom Howell and Dave Boyer report the former comedian and entertainer was almost immediately released from prison after serving more than 2 years of a 3 to 10 year sentence. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court said a 2005 decision by then Montgomery County District Attorney Bruce Castor not to charge Cosby led him to testify in civil proceedings without the benefit of Fifth Amendment protections against self-incrimination. The 83-year-old Cosby had vowed to serve all 10 years of his sentence rather than acknowledge any remorse over the 2004 encounter with accuser Andrea Constand. Cosby was convicted of drugging and molesting the Temple University employee at his suburban Philadelphia home. The NCAA Division I Board of Directors has approved groundbreaking name, image, and likeness rights for college athletes, ushering in a new era in college athletics that provides players with the ability to make money through endorsement deals. Sports reporter Andy Koska reports the approval by the governing bodies in Divisions 1, 2, and 3 was expected after the NCAA's Division I Council recommended a break from the organization's long-standing policy on amateurism. The new guidelines don't cross over into pay-for-play territory, however, and leave much of the implementation to individual schools and conferences. Some athletes are already lining up endorsement deals or trademarked logos in anticipation of the changes. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Don't have access to the Times yet? Visit WashingtonTimes.com/George and get 25% off your annual subscription. The southern U.S. border with Mexico is becoming more chaotic, with numbers of illegal immigrant juveniles rising, smugglers growing bolder, and agents encountering resistance. Stephen Dinan and Seth McLaughlin report illegal migration encounters in April and May were at their highest levels in more than 20 years. Numbers for June aren't yet complete, but the number of unaccompanied juvenile migrants is ticking up after a lull. For fiscal year 2021 so far, the Border Patrol has tallied 203 migrant deaths along the border. That's compared to 250 deaths for all of fiscal year 2020. Former President Trump blamed President Biden and his administration for the spike in a visit he took to the border in Texas, saying that Democrats are sabotaging border security. The issue is arguably the biggest challenge facing the Biden administration, and there are signs it's becoming a political vulnerability. And finally, the Black Sea is emerging as a prime flashpoint in the West standoff with Russia. Military reporter Mike Glenn reports the U.S. and its allies aren't backing off on a major naval military exercise in the contested sea this week that has Russian President Vladimir Putin fuming. More than 30 ships and 40 aircraft from 30-plus NATO members and Black Sea countries will take part in the Sea Breeze exercise. The U.S. and Ukraine, which is locked in its own intense battle of wills with Russia, are hosting the maneuvers. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or the Washington Times app, and subscribe for free to the Front Page podcast. Just search Washington Times on your favorite podcast platforms. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times, as well as on Facebook for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.